What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keeping It Real, where every week we talk all the latest in movies and TV. I'm one of your hosts, James, and I'm here with Rhys today. We're going to talk about Netflix's new thriller, The Guilty, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, adapted from a Danish film of the same name, I believe. Yeah. So The Guilty focuses on a demoted police officer assigned to a call dispatch desk whose night and life are transformed when he receives a call from a kidnapped woman. So we both watched this last night, didn't we, Rhys?
Yep.
Were you expecting a lot? You'd seen the trailer, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's a Netflix film, innit? So it's always like
there is always that caveat.
They're always hit or
like, yeah, exactly. I think the trailer came out only a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I didn't know much about it until.
Yeah, I had no idea this was coming out, and then it suddenly dropped, and I was like, that looks great. And turns out the trailer is only like the first 15 minutes, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, it doesn't give much away, does it?
Yeah, because I was trying to get the guys in the house to watch it with me last night. And we got halfway through the trailer and they were like, all right, stop. We're in. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. It's a tight 90 minutes, little 90-minute thriller. Yeah, I'm always game for them. So yeah, as we usually do, we'll start off spoiler free for those of you that haven't seen the film yet. And then we'll get into spoilers after. There will be a warning. So Rhys, without spoiling anything, what do you think of The Guilty?
I really enjoyed this. Like I said, with Netflix, you never know if it's going to be good or bad. But this is one of the good ones, one of the really good ones, I think. I think it's a really good example of how you can do a good film in 90 minutes. So for like everyone now, whenever I go see a film, it's like, oh, we'll make a film 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
But this is kind of them turning around being like, look, you can do a good film with an interesting plot, development, all that kind of stuff in 90 minutes. And I think the acting was brilliant, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, it's just him, isn't it? You've got vocal performances over the phones, but it's completely on his shoulders.
Yeah, I just think the way it was shot as well, I won't say too much about it right now, but the way it was shot was so well done. I think it's bold to kind of shoot a movie nowadays, I think, like this. But I think they did a really good job of it.
Yeah, this was shot mid-pandemic, I think, as we were sort of going into like that second lockdown.
Yeah.
I know they shot it in 11 days, I think. And Antoine Fuqua never even stepped on the set because he had to isolate. So he was in a van, like around the corner, directing from inside the van. And then between takes, they'd go and like look over a wall at each other and converse that way. So like,
they did a good job of that.
In no circumstances, I think they did a magnificent job.
The cast as well. I looked it up afterwards, so I wanted to see what else he directed.
Yeah,
and the cast is so good.
Well, yeah. So you've got Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Peter Sarsgaard.
Paul Dano.
Yeah, he pops up
Riley
for a minute.
Keough.
Riley Keough, yeah, she's good. Yeah,
Burr, randomly.
Oh yeah, he's the nightclub, like the bouncer, isn't he? Yeah, I didn't know any of the cast beforehand.
No, did I? No.
Going in, so that the Paul Dano, I was like, I recognize that voice. I really recognize that voice. It's the Riddler, of course. Yeah, Antoine Fuqua for me. I was gonna say hit or miss, but he's really more miss.
Yeah, I looked at a few of his films.
He's got Training Day, obviously, and I think that's where a lot of his good grace comes from, because it's still incredible to this day. But his last few movies, like
I don't know, I'm a big fan of I like the Magnificent Seven.
Did you?
I'm a big fan of the Magnificent Seven. I love a cowboy film.
I really cannot remember anything about that. I saw it in IMAX and I was bored. But like the Equalizer movies, I don't think are very good. Southpaw was underwhelming. Olympus Has Fallen, not a fan. So I was surprised by how much I enjoyed this, because I think it could have gone either way, really. And because it's so short, they really get you into it quickly.
Yeah,
so
like
within the first 5 minutes, I was hooked.
I mean, yeah, I think the actual drama of the film, I think kicks in 20 minutes in.
Yeah, about 15,
if that,
20 minutes.
I like that, because I was like, we don't need loads of plot before.
No, there doesn't have to be a bunch of setup.
Giving us what we need to know about, the main character, about Joe.
Yeah.
We know that there's summing up, and we know that it's had a big effect on his life.
Yeah,
And that's all we needed to know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that more in a minute. Speaking of just Jake Gyllenhaal, though, I think maybe his best performance since Nightcrawler,
I was thinking that it was,
and that was
so good.
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. You're with him the whole time, and because you don't leave him, I felt like I was in that situation with him.
Yeah, you feel like
we never get a chance to escape. Like he is, we're constantly, trying to track down this this crime, this mystery of what's going on. You want him to succeed in finding her, but we'll talk about them later. But it goes down some avenues of doing that where you're like, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah,
that's a bit, but because you want him to find her, that's the moral, the moral dilemma of it all is you've got to get her, but what lines are we crossing here?
Yeah.
I'll get a negative out of the way now. I won't spoil anything by saying it, but because it starts to develop and build, it got to a place where I was questioning the plausibility of it all. And I was like, it seems like we're adding stuff on here just to cause like more drama.
Okay.
And more and more plot, threads being added and woven into the mystery. And it did become, I don't want to say far-fetched, but less sort of natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I forgave it because the plot points that were being brought up just sort of gave way for Jake Gyllenhaal to just let loose more.
Yeah, I think weirdly it's very relevant in it. Like, not the whole plot. There's bits of the plot which at the moment are very relevant to what is going on in the world.
Because it's obviously about police and stuff, and I feel like we might spoil something by. But I definitely recommend this. I can recommend this more. 10 minutes in, I was got.
Oh yeah, everyone should watch this film.
It didn't let me go into the end. Again, 90 minutes, a 90-minute thriller. They don't come along all that often, so this was a nice breath of fresh air. We're going to talk about No Time to Die later this week, and like one of my problems with that film was its length, because you felt it. But this one, a simple, a quick breeze through. I loved it.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant film, and it doesn't take much time out of your day. So if you've got a few hours,
you could watch this multiple times in the same day.
Yeah,
it's so short. Right, shall we talk spoilers?
Yes,
let's talk the interesting stuff.
Don't want spoilers. Get out.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen The Guilty, pause this review, come back once you have, and we can talk all the fun reveals. Maybe not fun reveals.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so spoilers from now on. So you alluded to it about Joe's got some stuff going on in his personal life that sort of might have drawn him to where he currently is.
Yeah, I like this. I think my girlfriend read up about the original film.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the original film, you learn that he shot that boy a lot earlier on.
Oh, okay.
But I like that we didn't know until the end.
I enjoyed that as well.
Because it kind of gets you to think. It's like, because you think, oh, this guy is like, he's a good guy. But then you're like, but there's like glimpses, like the way he talks on the phone sometimes, it's like, right, there's something wrong about it. And it's like, what did he do?
Clearly going through something.
And I think finding out that, when he says, I shot him because I could.
Yeah, he tries to come up with a reason and he can't.
You're like, you're actually a bit of a dickhead. You just shot this 19-year-old kid.
19, yeah.
Because something to do with his dad. I don't know. He didn't really say much about that. But again, I like not really knowing the full story.
Yeah.
I like just knowing that he shot this kid.
He wouldn't divulge all the
and that he's sorry for it.
Gory details down the phone, would he? But it's basically because, it's alluded to that, because I had a badge and a gun, that was within my rights to do.
In that bit, it's so well done because even though he did that awful thing, you still feel sorry for him in that bit.
I think
He's
it's just a testament to how good he is.
Yeah, because he's like, I can't kill you too. It's just like,
He's
I'm
begging,
supposed to not like you at this
pleading,
bit.
yeah.
You're a bad police officer, but
because you've been with him this whole time, you feel like you are him almost.
Yeah, I love that. I know we had the little bits obviously where like when they pull the van over, you kind of see that little bit,
little cutaways, yeah.
But I feel like because you're in the the precinct or wherever it is with him the entire time, and you don't see anything that's going on. Like I feel like if we'd seen that bit in the house with the kids, that'd have been too much.
But you've got to experience it from his
his side
of the phone.
Like just hearing
the police
officer freaking out and
because
blood everywhere.
Because Joe's panicking and he wants to know what's going on.
And like I think if we saw the baby, all cut up or whatever it was, that would have been too much. But I think there's power. There's like a power in what you can't see.
Yeah,
I feel like us having to use our imagination, we like Joe could imagine it's a lot worse. Because we all thought, that baby's dead. Yeah. So at the end, when they say it's in the ICU, that's a bit of relief in it, because the whole time you're like, oh my God, this woman has killed her baby in this horrible way.
Well, yeah, so right,
and that kind of builds up the drama and the tension and the emotion. And that, when you find that out, it is like a little bit of relief after everything that's gone on.
One thing after tonight. Yeah. That's the big twist in all of this, because we're led to believe that the father has murdered his child and kidnapped his wife and left his daughter at home alone. Turns out that Emily, played by Riley Keough, she's not, she's mentally ill, and by doing something she thought was helping her son, she has, we think, has killed him. I saw that twist coming a mile off. It didn't take away from it at all, though.
I tried to guess it. My theory was it was on his head. My theory was none of this was happening. But because there was kind of parallels between, the family that,
and he's also got some stuff going on with his
wife. And like him, he can't see his kid, and this guy can't see his children either. Yeah. And I kind of thought maybe he's hit breaking point, because there's lots of bits where, he kind of looks off and there's the kind of ringing in his ears and stuff. And I was like, he's just lost it. That's what's happening. I get you. But no, the twist was really good. And, as soon as she starts talking about the aquarium, straight away you're like, something's not right. Yeah. And I think to convey that much drama and emotion just on a phone call, it's really good. It's commendable. That's something we're not used to. Like, you're not used to seeing that in films anymore. You're used to being, kind of seeing everything going on, and visual cues and all that kind of stuff. So for Riley Keough to do all that on a phone and make you feel everything she's feeling is really well done. Yeah, definitely. So I saw the twist coming a while off, but it really didn't lessen the impact of it. I was still sat there, hand covering my mouth, like, God, I'm so in. Like, this is brilliant. I'm captivated. Eventually, he helps Emily escape the van before finding out. Yeah, before. Oh, it's sort of all happening at the same time, isn't it? He's already given her the advice to. And then it's revealed. She says what her son had snakes in his stomach. Yeah. Just a horrible image. And it's so like heartbreaking, because this film does a really good job of not making anyone the villain. Yeah. Like, it'd have been so easy to paint, Emily as this like insane woman. But she's clearly just a woman. She's just ill. Help. She's just ill, and and again, Henry's supposed to help her, and I think it does so well to. Even though he has this, again, it would have been easy to make him a villain, all this history of assault and stuff that he has. But they didn't do it. There was so many blurred lines. I feel like you don't really get that.
Yeah, well,
as much anymore.
his colleague says towards the end when she walks in, broken people help broken people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all these characters are just, they're not in a good place. It was hard to watch at times because there wasn't any, there's no levity. There's very little relief in terms. It seemed to just, we were getting deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, and everything was just getting worse.
Yeah, and Joe, the main character, doesn't really help himself, does he? Like, I get that he's on edge with that bit where he phones up Henry and he's screaming down the phone that he deserves to be executed. It's like a weird, because I suppose there probably are people, in the police force who are under this intense pressure and sometimes probably do feel like that. But
I can't imagine that
like
job.
You're a police, it's like you've got to be the voice of reason all the time.
Yeah, and I guess it's hard to not get emotionally involved.
Yeah, and at the same time though, he says this kind of stuff, and you're like, oh, that was a bit much. But then you're like, but you still are on his side.
Yeah,
because of the kind of intense situation there is, and that whole bit where he's speaking to the little girl.
Oh,
and she's like, "No, police hurt people." I'm just like,
that is the world we're living in.
That sucks for you because you can be good at your job, but because of everyone around you, you're seen as the bad guy, and it sucks.
Yeah, so the second twist of this is that we find out that Joe has killed a boy whilst on duty. That's what his court appearance is about the day after. So it's why he's trying to get his friend to stop drinking so he can, be his alibi and work with this fake story that they've got planned up. But through his experiences on the phones during the night, the hypocrisy of it hits him, where he's going after these bad guys and he's saying, you deserve to be executed for what you've done and all that. And I think that finally all hits him and he's like, that's me. I've done wrong and I need to be punished and I need to own up to that.
I mean, even if he didn't go down for shooting this young lad, he'd have lost his job anyway after tonight. I assume those phone calls are recorded.
I did think that. I was like, he's not going to stop him.
And after what he said and what he did, he's going to lose his job anyway.
For sure, yeah. Right, your final wrap up on the film, Rhys, and your score.
I think it's a brilliant film. Like I said, the emotion and the plot and just the setting, just setting in one place for the entire film, I think is bold. And if you pull it off well, like they did in this, then, fair play. I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I couldn't really see many flaws in it. I think there were a few. I feel like a lot of the scenes with Joe and Rick, his partner's name, that was a bit, I feel like they kind of were a bit.
Maybe some of the dialogue.
Yeah, I think it was odd. Like when he phoned up the first time, there was a lot of bits, and I was like, "Why are you saying this?"
It seemed like we need to know this.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like a natural conversation at times.
Yeah,
and I felt that with the Rick character.
Yeah, but apart from that, thoroughly enjoyed it. Everyone should watch it.
4.5 out of 5. Yeah, I was engaged from the very start. I thought that the setting and the way the story was being told, it felt. I mean, it is a remake, but I've not seen that film, so it felt quite fresh. Completely taken by Jake Gyllenhaal's performance. I think it's really up there with some of his best. I love the way it very much just keeps you in the room on the phone. You're just waiting on the edge of your seat for the next call because you're like, please, I need to know more, and this needs to be found out, and this needs to end. There are moments where you might have to expend your disbelief because of the amount of how much the plot develops. Maybe it felt a bit far-fetched to me at times, but overall it's forget that really. Just I was in the moment for a lot of it, and it was a now and again I'd be like, I don't quite buy that, but then immediately I was just, back in. It's a really well told crime thriller with a great central performance. 4.5, no, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Yeah, so that's a good score from us.
Yeah, it's not bad. I
Not
mean, it's
quite.
had higher scores than most films I think we've watched recently.
Yeah, well done. We'll get our fives one day, like Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin's had his. We need ours now.
Right, so that's it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed our review of The Guilty, but we would love to know what you thought of the film. So if you're watching on YouTube, let us know down in the comments your thoughts. Whilst you're there, make sure to hit subscribe, the thumbs up button, and the bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos. You can also reach out to us on Twitter and Instagram at Keeping It Real UK. From there, you can find links to all of our streaming platforms. We're going to be back on Wednesday for our review of No Time to Die, so make sure you don't miss that. Until then, have a great week, and as always, keep it real.